All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army match week number 29. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to start with the Premier League, where we'll discuss Osula's magic, Wolves' resurgence, and Spurs' best chance, perhaps last chance to stay up. Halftime will be a World Cup related pop quiz. Rest around the world, we got a spicy MLS minute, extra spicy like you guys like it, and maybe a little quick Champions League knockout primer, and then finally stoppage time with Ivan Toney's best bets and everybody's favorite segment, GOAWs. Now, time to welcome in this week's panel of beauties. We will start with Mr. Mikey Fowler. Your intro question: when is the last time you were at a doctor's office? And is this a normal occurrence? Is this an annual occurrence?
Thanks for asking, Sam. Today was the first doctor's appointment I've had in over 9 years. They basically, and I think direct quote is, "You're like an abandoned dog." We found they gave me every vaccine, every shot, and took like several vials of blood to test for, I'm assuming, a myriad of diseases. So we'll know in 2 days what my life expectancy is and where I should go next, whether it's the emergency room, the morgue, or back to my house and enjoy my evening. I have no idea what's going to happen.
This is a brand new world for you. We're opening up new.
Yep. They asked me for my records. I said there are none. They asked me to ask my pediatrician for a lot of answers. I said I don't know who that is. I'm 34 years old, Sam, and I haven't been to the doctor since my pediatrician. So I think this is going to be fine, I think.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely fine. I mean, 34 is not so bad. 34 is not so bad, although 9 years, that's... I'm not going to...
It might be more.
I'm not going to throw stones. I probably wouldn't ever go to the doctor if it wasn't for, the boss lady saying, get your ass there once a year. So we'll throw that same question at Mr. Tyler Nathaniel Terrence, TNT. So are you an annual physical getter, Mr. Terrence?
No, I'm not. Last time I went was in Chicago, 2023. And I passed out while they were taking a bunch of blood because I hadn't been in, I think, 5 or 6 years before that since my senior year in college when they had to do the physical and everything like that. But I'm susceptible to low blood pressure as it is, and I always pass out when I'm giving blood. So don't be alarmed. Everything's fine. That's
quite funny that you passed out. Sorry to say.
It happens a lot. It happens, like, I get, like, donating blood every time. Like, I try to do it during COVID. Does
it have to do with the needle? Does it have to do with you seeing it go in? Or is it the low blood pressure?
I can't watch it go in regardless. So I don't, okay, I stopped watching years ago.
Pause.
Okay. Mr. Stray Dog over here chirping me while I'm talking about that. No, I think it's literally just like if I'm sitting up and I'm just susceptible to low blood pressure and like getting and just passing out. I don't know. It's just a thing.
You don't like watching yourself get stuck. Do you have a problem? Have you ever had like a big cut or like a serious injury, and like how did you react to that?
Yeah, I was on like one of those motorized scooters when I was 10 with one of my buddies, and he was like jerking it around, trying to be funny, trying to scare me, and then the bottom gave out, and my chin slid across the pavement for a solid like 3 or 4 feet, and I'm pouring blood out, and I literally pass out as I'm like holding the blood in my hand. Yeah.
Again,
video on the Patreon.
It's tough to tell what exactly is causing the pass outs here, but that's okay.
Well, I have a weak constitution, as some might say. Like, if my club were potentially going to get relegated, I probably would have passed out after the Crystal Palace game.
Okay, fair. Good segue to our next segment. We'll hit in the Premier League. Before, though, if you're not in the Discord, as Mikey punches his keyboard in front of us,
sorry.
If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord right now. You get access to the live chat, which is actually, it's going crazy right now. People love the health talk over there. $3.99 a month. Sam's Army Patreon. Get access to everything. I don't know. Mikey's doing something. I'm lost.
I'll cut my hand until Tyler passes out.
500 subs.
All right, let's work on it, boys and girls. 500 subs. Let's get on that. All right. Premier League. I mean, at this point, it's just like it's laugh at Tottenham, weekly session. So that was one of the results. Spurs lost to Palace in what I would have called a must-win game. Lost 3-1. Newcastle beat United while on 10 men. Shout out to Osula, incredible game winner. Other, sort of relegation battlers, Nottingham Forest showed some heart, showed some spine, came back against Manchester City, drew with them 2-2. West Ham beat Fulham 1-0. That's a Fulham team that just beat Tottenham, just to put everything in perspective there. Wolves beat Liverpool. I think worth pointing out. Also, Chelsea over Villa, and plenty of other games. Arsenal, of course, won 1-0. Anyway, let's go to you, Tyler, first. What of these results just sort of stands out and why?
Spurs, Crystal Palace.
Let's start there.
That's a great place to start. That's a fantastic. Why did that stand out?
It stood out to me because a lot of times people refer to Tottenham Hotspur as this big six club. And it's just funny to me because you guys spend a lot of money, but for a club that spends a lot of money, you shouldn't actually be close to getting relegated. And that result stands out to me because that result now puts you firmly into a relegation battle. So it's funny and interesting because it's a little ironic that you guys are deemed as big six when you literally could finish in the bottom three. So there's just a lot of nuances to why this is so interesting. On a more serious note, you guys suck, and you guys actually have like a legitimate loser's mentality. And the way that you guys came out against Crystal Palace, you deserve to lose the game. You deserve to get relegated, and Igor Tudor needs to be fired. And you need to bring in the only man who can save your season, which is Sean Dyche, who for whatever reason has been gifted to you by God, and by God I do mean Evangelos Marinakis, to be able to save you from relegation. He's waiting right there. Igor Tudor should have never came into this club. Ange Postecoglou should have never been fired, okay? But what's done is done. Fix the problem. Get rid of this fucking guy who has no institutional knowledge of the Premier League whatsoever, and came out and let Crystal Palace dog walk you on your own field in a game that you guys needed to have. And now your buttholes are as tight as they could possibly be for the remaining 8 or 9 games of the season. And West Ham and Nottingham Forest are better. If we're going to do power rankings, West Ham and Nottingham Forest are legitimately better football teams than you guys are right now. And that's not an opinion, that is a fact. So anyway, I'm done.
A lot of what you said was fair. I disagree with some of it. I think it's tough to completely, say Igor Tudor is the problem here when he's played Arsenal and Crystal Palace.
He's not the
10
solution.
Men.
He might not be the problem, but he's not the solution right now. And there's a difference between those two things.
I'm not going to argue with you there. I just think it's too early for me to just say this is a terrible hire and get rid of him. Now, I will say that in a week or two if things don't turn around. Now, this weekend, we go to Liverpool. I mean, again, this is going to be a tough game to judge him on. We just suck at Anfield. We do. We just suck. I have the same feeling going to Anfield as I'm guessing maybe Manchester City has playing us at this point. It's just like we'll never win there. So this is a tough game to say, if he doesn't win this game, he's gone. I do think, and I said this before Palace, but then Van de Ven completely blew everything up with that early red card. If we don't put in a shift and we don't look like we're a team that's trying to get out of the relegation battle, then I do think he has to go, even if we, whatever, even if we just lose by 1. Because there's no way we're winning this game. Could we draw? Maybe. I doubt it. But I do think that it's too early to judge him. Now, the players, I have a bigger gripe with the players at this point. This team, first of all, was not built for a relegation battle. You can just tell in the inside their brain, they're just not up for this fight. They weren't ready for it. I don't think they're mentally strong enough to handle it. We're missing guys like Romero, who are guys that are actually going to fight for anything. Richarlison, we've been missing him. Romero, we've been missing him. I mean, who else is there? Dragusin, maybe, but he's too slow to even get in a fight. Like, it's just, the problem is that this team has all these guys that like thought that they should be playing for top 4 and playing for all, maybe playing for trophies and stuff. And now we're in a fucking real relegation battle, and I don't think they're up for it. So yeah, I'm legitimately nervous about what's going to happen over the next couple months, because this team they don't look like they want it bad enough. I hate using sort of that kind of cliche, but like they just look like they're kind of mentally beaten already, and we're just getting down to when they really need to knuckle down. So I'm very nervous about what's happening. This Palace game, the fact we lost that game, yes, it was 10 men. It's tough to judge the performance. The fact they lost that game at home, never mind red cards, never mind anything else. The fact they lost that game is problematic, very problematic. And I'm now legitimately concerned that this team is going to go down, and what happens then, who the hell knows? It's scary. I'm legitimately scared right now. I don't know people were asking us in the Discord, like, what happens with the podcast when Tottenham, gets relegated? I have no idea. I don't have an answer for you there. I'm just going to do what I do with all kind of problems like this and bury it way down deep and ignore it until I actually have to deal with it. I'm scared. I think this team hasn't shown me anything that makes me think, you know what, they'll fight for this and they'll want to stay up. I don't even think that they understand the shitstorm that they've caused right now. It's like, it feels like the fans, I know the fans care. Tudor, does he care? I mean, he's the shit he said after the last game felt like a complete CYA. He's like, oh, I saw something from the team. I don't know what you saw, buddy, because I was watching that game. Maybe you saw something in the locker room. Maybe there was something, Pedro Porro punching the seat. Is that what you're talking about? Because I didn't see a single thing that made me think, you know what, Tottenham, the squad is ready for this relegation battle. And so I'm nervous. I'm very worried. Mikey, I know you got thoughts.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the championship Hit-It-Or-Quit-It Minute with Sam next season. I think that's going to go really well. It's going to do numbers. 2 things I want to correct from you. You aren't without Richarlison. Your manager's failing to select him. I think that's important to note.
Okay, but that's a recent thing. He's been out for a long stretch. But yeah, you're right.
Understand.
Yeah,
Pretty inexcusable to leave him out last week. 2, I want to thank the Premier League schedule makers for continuing to put Tottenham in standalone time slots. This week on Sunday, you're the final game of the weekend slate, 12:30 solo kickoff. Everybody can watch. I actually do think that's adding pressure to the players and to the fans and creating an atmosphere which is kind of insurmountable at this point. I don't think you'll be relegated. I don't think that's going to happen. The world is not that kind to me. So I will enjoy these next few weeks when you are genuinely scared, but I do not think that you will go down. I think this weekend, at the end of it, if Forest get a result against Fulham, which they very much can, and West Ham with we're not going to do it against City this weekend, but I do think that they have results in them left. They have a good run of form. I think Leeds is the only people that can out like pessimist. The Spurs fans in my life right now are the Leeds fans who are convinced that they're going down. So I don't think it's going to happen. I think realistically by match week 33 or 34, you're going to be looking at this in a different light, but you're going to have to win. And I don't think that's possible, at least for the next 10 days. I do think you'll beat Atletico in the midweek, just hilariously. I hope you advance in the Champions League enough to distract you from the Premier League slate and then end up falling short.
You guys might be able to afford somebody like Paul Mullen if you keep winning in Champions League at this rate.
That's a good point.
If
you end up below
championship.
If you end up below Wrexham in the England hierarchy at the end of the season, that would be something.
What a year this could be for Arsenal fans to win the league and watch Spurs get relegated.
That's exactly why it's not going to happen, to be completely honest with you. But I do enjoy that. I am enjoying it right now. I think everybody should take a real second to appreciate the state of Spurs and where the Arsenal are on the table. But one of the two will not end up happening, and I will trade you staying up for a Premier League title. So I'm gonna leverage myself.
That was gonna be my next question. If you could guarantee one of those things happening,
it's a trophy. I'm done hearing this second place bullshit.
A trophy or the trophy?
Premier League trophy.
What if you could win? Hold on, let me change it. What if you can guarantee Spurs get relegated? You don't win the Premier League, but you win FA Cup and Champions League.
Deal.
Jesus.
Whoa. Okay.
Let's pump the fucking brakes here. I'm actually
Spurs and West Ham have the two have the two biggest stadiums in London, right?
It feels like we're like talking about Sam as like whether or not we like him.
I'm right here, boys. I'm right here.
We're talking about whether or not we like him as a friend and just listing all of his flaws.
Sam, I know 100% is your relegation's like terrified. Are we in the 90s?
No, no. I have crossed over from like 50%. Like I do think that we'll save ourselves. I'm agree with you there. I think at the end of the day, if you put a gun to my head right now, I would say I think we'll stay up. But it's changed from I'm very confident we'll stay up to I hope we stay up. I mean, because like it's different now. That loss to Crystal Palace.
You hope you stay up. That is the hottest take that you have in this podcast.
It would be nice to have a St. Totteringham's Day in August.
That's right. Yeah, you could have it in May if you want. Yeah.
Sam, what would you be willing to part ways with in order to assure that Spurs?
Oh, good question.
Like your soul. One of your children.
Which of your kids? Yeah. Which of your kids would you?
Which of your kids would you agree to not seeing for a year to ensure that Tottenham stay up?
I couldn't. I would get stabbed in my sleep by my wife or one of the kids if I agreed to that deal. I'd give up a testicle. I don't need those anymore.
Deal. No, but did you already get snipped?
No.
Oh, so I guess it would.
But I still don't need them.
But the way that you phrase it to your wife is the level of misery that you would experience if Spurs did get relegated wouldn't be worth having you around as a father anyway. So you might as well just like sacrifice one of your children for a year.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have you be my attorney in the
Mrs. Army and I have a great relationship. I'm not worried about it. Not worried.
All right. Well, listen, I hope this is all hypothetical, and like Mikey said, big brain Mikey will be looking at things fine. A little differently. I hate that you're reverse jinxing or trying to right now. Regardless, yes, just to close the loop on the Tottenham talk, it really was a nightmare weekend. So you had Arsenal winning a close one against Brighton. You had Nottingham Forest coming back against Manchester City, and that goal by Gibbs White was awesome from a neutral's perspective. And the fact that he's not playing for Tottenham right now really stinks.
Both goals for Forest were incredible.
Yeah. And then you had West Ham being Fulham, which a team that we just lost to. So it's like everything that could have gone wrong this weekend went wrong. I do subscribe to the I don't know if it's a philosophy or whatever, that the universe has a way of balancing things out. So I do agree with Mikey that somehow, some way, we will figure this out, and Arsenal won't win, and or we will stay up. And I really hope it's us stay up, because I can't. Both of those worlds stink, but I can't live in a world where the championship is where we're playing next year. And the banter, I will say this, the tweets and everything over the past week have been pretty funny. Like all the lower league teams bantering Tottenham. It's like the whole world came together and is just shitting on Tottenham. It is, I will say, actually kind of funny, some of the tweets they're posting. Anything else from the week? Tyler, Wolves. Can we talk about Wolves really quick? Rob Edwards seemingly has them. It feels like they're Whitewalkers at this point. Like they're dead, but they're dangerous, and they're coming for people. And you found out this past weekend.
Listen, we saved what we had in the tank for Friday and in the FA Cup, and so I don't really care. Was that game going to make or break our nut as far as making Champions League? No. Did we win the FA Cup battle, which was the only thing that Wolves had to play for this season? Yes. And we did it with a rotated squad. So I say we played the week perfectly. Next question.
Next question. Let's move on.
Should you just play your rotated squad?
What is our rotated squad right now? What is that? What does that entail? Who is that?
It's like
Andy Robertson and Rio and Gamoa, and they all have their flaws, and we're fighting for our Champions League lives right now. I just don't.
Anything else?
It could always be worse. It could be Spurs. So that's sort of how I try to view my life right now as a football supporter.
We are there for you. We were talking about this in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you should get in it. We're constantly talking. Like the chatter is legitimately almost 24/7 these days. I think honestly the best chance for Tottenham to stay up is the 60-point deduction to City that's coming down the pike at some point. Like, I think it's almost inevitable at some point. They're trying to figure out how to do it. If that happens, I think that is our best. That or whatever the financial dealings that is going on with West Ham, which they sound they're in a kind of serious situation with finances. Honestly, that's probably the best way of saving Tottenham. Somehow FA comes and just slams one of these teams with a point deduction, because I just don't trust this fucking team. Saved my life. Anything else from the midweek? I know it was a little while ago and we had FA Cup in between there, so it's not quite as fresh. But
yeah, I mean, we can talk about the fact that you guys have both said this on the show, that there's matches that you just have to win, and no matter how terrible Arsenal looked, I truly believe that was an enormous weekend, and just having 10 days to bask in it has been quite lovely. Brighton are good. Hurtzler's a baby. I think he's the perfect Spurs hire. Yeah. He truly detests Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, and it seems to be both ways. I no longer feel like Brighton are the plucky, amazing story. I now kind of hate that club. So, job well done.
Everybody hates you and is just calling you out on your slugfest.
Yeah, but he's the first one who was just a baby about it.
Was he asked a question about anything related to style or anything like that, or did he just voluntarily say that?
He voluntarily brought out a lot of hatred towards the way Arsenal play.
See, he's speaking for the people. I elect.
That's what he thinks.
I elect Hurtzler to be the mouthpiece for the rest of the entertainment football world. Like, those guys Arsenal players are paid to entertain the public, and you guys are not doing that.
That's not what they're paid to do.
Paid to entertain the public. These guys
it's for me.
Seriously.
It's free clowns.
You guys used to be you guys used to be good. You guys used to be a shining light.
I'm glad you guys no longer like us. Trust me, I had one of my best friends in New York, a Liverpool fan, loved having me over to watch matches. Haven't heard from him in like 24 months. Okay? I can confirm I know why. It was fun to have me next to him while he patted me on the head and said, "You guys play really nice football." And we lose every time. So
I will say, and I'm not trying to be an asshole. We're all guilty of, at some point or another, taking a nap watching a Premier League game, right? It's just like the dulcet tones of the announcers. Sure. It's waking up early, the whole thing. If you were to have like a number or a percentage of which team I'm falling asleep watching, it's like 90% Arsenal right now, and that's not on Sam's scale. That's on my scale, which is the normal one. I always fall asleep watching your goddamn club. Why am I paying for Peacock? Why am I bothering with my time? Entertain me. This is supposed to be, professional sports are entertainment. This is bullshit.
This is my favorite segment of the year.
This is bullshit.
I actually co-sign pretty much everything Tyler said right there. It's true. You guys, it's not entertaining. And I know that that's all we have to say at this point. I know. I get it. But it's true. And when Hurtzler went in on you, I was ready to hire him as Tottenham's next manager right there. Just sign on.
I think you should.
I would take him tomorrow. Only other one that I'll point out, Bournemouth Brentford 0-0. Obviously not much worth talking about, but Tyler Adams looked amazing. And I think there's an association, a direct correlation between how ugly a game is and how well he plays. As a 6, he just breaks everything up, right?
I heard Arsenal's looking at him.
I'm starting to think he doesn't get in the USA side.
Think so? Right now? He's coming back healthy, playing for Bournemouth?
Tell me Tessman, Cardoso, and McKennie wouldn't be a better midfield three.
Shut up with Cardoso. Stop it.
Just saying.
Stop it.
There's a conversation.
I don't think Tyler needs to play 90-plus minutes every single game and then run out of gas in the round of 16. But saying that he's not going to decide.
It's good having other options. We'll discuss the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, just clip that for later when I'm right.
All right, FPL updates. Mikey, we all know, is head and shoulders above everybody else. Did you have a good week, Mikey?
A little bit above average. Fell in the tables that I care about because I wasn't that much better than
cooking. Just so everybody's aware,
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
You are. You beat me by 18 points. That means you're up by 19 points now on me. Oh, that sucks. All right, so Mikey's in first. This is in the Sam's Army Council of Elders. Mitch is in second. Tommy dropping like an anchor. we might both be able to catch him.
Well, season started for Tommy, which means he forgets his logins to just about everything, including
he spent the whole winter. Not
the whole winter with Haaland as his captain and basically with like 3 injured guys in his lineup. The fact that he was even this close to the fact that he was that far up the table to begin with is insane.
The fact we haven't caught him yet is the saddest part, to be honest.
Agreed.
You're in 4th, I'm in 5th. Discord sickos, we got Mikey up top. Although somebody's on the same, a couple people are on 1,700 numbers with you. Jamie Fryer's in 2nd, Matthew Perry in 3rd, Dave K.
What's that
4th,
gap?
62 points. You're up right now. And then, same as in a podcast league where Mikey is not up top. Luke McCulloch, Anacortes FC is up top. 1,833. Wow. Shane Dunn is in 2nd. Thomas Senef, your boy, is in 3rd. James Bean in 4th. And Kenny Merritt is in 5th. Well done, everybody.
I hope he listens one day and is just like, what do you mean, your boy? And then listens back and hears I've been shitting on him doxing him for months.
Is Saliba going to play, by the way?
I don't know.
Is he hurt?
He's got a knock, supposedly.
It's a big week to wait until Thursday to make your transfers.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, weekend preview. We got a full slate coming up. We already teased Liverpool hosting Tottenham on Sunday. Also on Sunday, United hosting Villa. Saturday's highlights, Chelsea hosting Newcastle and Everton visiting Arsenal. Mikey, which game are you most interested in? Why?
I mean, City having to go to West Ham is all of a sudden plucky and interesting to me. Forest at home was a problem, so a structured West Ham team who looked, truthfully, I watched a lot of that Brentford match today. It's probably still going on. The midfield was dynamic. They looked good. Somerville's in form. I truthfully think they can score 1 or 2 on this City side. If Haaland's not firing, that's not the same squad. Semenyo can't keep bailing them out forever. So I'm going to be watching that one intently. No idea why it's at 4 p.m. And the other one that I'm mildly interested in is yours. I just want to. I think it could be hilarious.
Yeah, I know you weren't going to say it could be a very high quality soccer match because it certainly won't.
Well, I feel like I always bring up how Villa are like late season Unai Emery is one of the worst managers in the history of the Premier League. So I think that they could slip up to United and find themselves probably they could be if Liverpool takes care of business against you and Chelsea wins at Newcastle, Villa could be in 6th at the end of this weekend with a lot of games left for them to keep going down. So I think this is a pivotal moment, and away to United is not where they want to go.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of the games that I suggested at the top. So they got waxed by Chelsea this weekend.
Yeah, they suck.
They are dropping like a fly or like a rock. You actually called this several weeks ago. Villa, they're in a tough spot. Obviously not as tough as Tottenham. So tough is relative, but they're in a tough spot, and Chelsea just remains an enigma. Like I don't know what to think about Chelsea.
Villa has a trip to Lille on Thursday of this week before the Sunday match against United too. So I don't love where they're at.
That could be an ugly game in favor of United.
Yeah,
I like the Red Devils a lot in that one.
Any other games, or is that the one you're most interested in, Tyler?
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, Liverpool Tottenham on Sunday. Whatever
mark
happens.
Calendars. I might go live. I might do a watch along.
Get in the Sam's Art Patreon. Get access. All right, we'll move on. Halftime. Pop quiz for the boys here. I got to see these hands. Make sure you're not Googling in the meantime. But looking ahead to the World Cup this summer, top 5 favorites in order to win the Golden Boot at the World Cup.
Oh. Messi. Does Messi? Is he in there? Just tell me if he's playing or not.
He is.
He's in the top 5.
Of course he is. Of course.
No. I'm saying like Mikey's just like making his own rules. Just tell me if he's in there. Like we're not.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they don't price in guys that might not go.
You didn't think Messi was going to the World Cup?
He said he didn't know.
No, Michael. Jeez.
What did they do to you at this doctor's office? What's going on here?
They injected me with liberal nonsense.
Spurs and
okay, Harry Kane for sure.
Haaland,
Mbappe. Kane and Mbappe are 1-2, I believe, in that order. Holland is probably in there just
I would
because.
say Holland's five. I would go Holland 5.
Yeah. So those are 3. I go
Messi,
1, 2,
Messi 4.
5.
Messi 4.
Yeah. And then is Ronnie in there?
No.
They're gonna be good. Ferran Torres.
Well, he just got hurt too.
Lamine.
Well, that's what I'm saying on Spain, but like Spain's going to be more of a collective effort. I don't think it's. But what about?
Germany has nobody.
Yeah. Would Musiala? Musiala wouldn't be on there.
No. Germany's got a striker problem.
He takes pens for Germany.
Voltemata. No, probably Kimmich, honestly. Is there another England player?
What about Vinny?
He doesn't score enough. Is there another player on? Oh man, this is tough. Who's 5th? I'm probably gonna say if it's betting odds, it's Ronnie, and he'd be 5 and Holland 4.
I'll roll with you, but I'll be really upset if you're wrong.
Let's do it.
Okay, deal.
All right, you guys are pretty good. That was pretty good.
No, we need all 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 6. Mbappe and Kane 1, 2. You were right, but you had him flipped. So Mbappe's 1, Kane's 2. Third is Messi, which I'm going to give you credit for because I think you had Haaland and Ronnie as 4, 5.
Yeah.
So you had Messi in the right spot. Haaland is 4th. Ronaldo is 6th. Which,
fuck you.
If anybody wants to bet that, I will book that personally myself. He's plus 2,000. The 5th, you mentioned him briefly and went over him. Lamine Yamal is 5th, and I think that's probably just based on name brand recognition. To be honest,
Ronaldo will score more goals than Lamine Yamal.
That's a hot take.
I'll take that.
I think he will.
I take the opposite. Like he won't, but
he's going to have a group stage game against a minnow with 3, and he'll end up with like 4 or 5.
That's a good point. Well done. You guys did pretty well in that one. One of the better pop quizzes. Performance.
I still got it wrong.
Compliment corner. We haven't done this in a while. It's been a minute, but I do think not Spurs.
Igor Tudor.
Not Spurs. We have talked enough about Spurs. I don't want to talk about that organization for another week. We are going to give compliments to Everton, a team who sits in 8th place right now.
That's not in the spirit of this game.
It is. It is.
No, we give compliment corner and a backhanded compliment that's not really a compliment to someone we've been shitting on or a club we've been shitting on all episode, and that is Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've already done Tottenham. We don't need to give Tottenham any praise. I do think we never give. The reason I didn't bring up Everton's nice 2-0 win against Burnley is because we just never talk about them. They're this team that we just never.
How much did Adam F in the Discord pay you to say all this nonsense?
Nothing. $0. I perhaps he did. Put a seed
you can do
in my
this
brain.
one, and then Mikey and I will have our own compliment corner with Spurs right after it. So go ahead. Well, let's do the Everton.
I can do both. I like doing this.
Well, I mean, my compliment corner for them is that they got them dogs. They know they can clearly play sort of top-notch soccer against top teams, and they're in 8th place right now, so they can sort of they can actually play some soccer, and also they got the heart to actually deal with a relegation battle, something that I'm not so sure Tottenham has. So they can do both. Get you a man who can do both, and I think Tottenham or Everton can do both. So
Adam F is in the Discord chat. He doesn't even want this bullshit right now because you're probably he doesn't even want this. Everybody knows that this is not our shtick. This is not what we do.
You guys should listen. I make the rules around here. God damn it! I guess not. All right, fine. Well, you guys now can do your compliment corners for Tottenham Hotspur FC.
Mike, you go first.
I'll do an Everton one as well. I think that they somehow, against all odds, have a starting England center back and a starting England goalkeeper in the squad, which is almost impossible for 4 years ago. If you told me that would be run back, I think Tarkowski and Pickford are nailed on. And I do like James Garner. I'm very on record about that. My compliment corner for somebody we've shit on relentlessly in Spurs is the fact that I personally think, and you can disagree with me if you want, I think that they will be favorites to come back up next season. So I don't think they'll be down for long if they do go down.
Amazing. Your ability to backhand compliment people just off the cuff is truly world class. I will give you that. Tyler?
On the Everton side, David, I mean, like, who says that you can't learn new tricks when you're in an advanced stage? It gives you hope, because you could be David Moyes' age in the next 3 to 4 years and be pulling out new tricks. So that's number one. Number two, Tottenham will by far have the nicest stadium in the championship.
That's a good point.
It's very true. Very true. All the banter that all these lower league teams talking about away days to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's they hit. They're still hitting, unfortunately. James Madison. By the way, yeah. So somebody brought up James Madison in the chat. This would be his second relegation on his resume after last year.
Give it to me, please.
So shout out James Madison. Oh God, what a sad state of affairs we are in right now. Let's go to round the world. Let's start with extra spicy MLS Hit-It-N-Quit-It Minute with the spicy man himself, the spicy MLS Minute Man, Tyler Nathaniel. What do you got for us?
Oh boy, did we have some very MLS-y results this week. My goodness gracious. Let's start in the Big Apple. We got a real problem down in Orlando, and I'm not talking about the fact that it's in Florida and it's landlocked and who would want to live there, but it's the fact that they lost 5-0 and they're off to a horrendous start. What a result for Pascal Janssen's side. Orlando City get a red card and they just get absolutely drilled by the Pigeons. No, that's not an innuendo. Final score is 5-0 in favor of NYCFC. New England and Houston postponed very early on for God knows what reason, weather, whatever. I don't know. We're going to skip it and go to our nation's capital, but not really, because DC United get in line with the other clown MLS teams who are going to decide to have their game 45 minutes away from where their stadium actually is and just welcome in casual fans and not create any sort of home field environment, which, by the way, Inter Miami are undefeated in those types of situations where they go and play in a football field that is nowhere near the home city or the home venue for a respective side. Inter Miami win it by a score of 2-1. Rodrigo De Paul and Messi on the score sheet. Ty Baribo did make it 2-1 late on in that game. Meanwhile, Philadelphia Union, my goodness gracious, Bradley Carnell wins the Supporter Shield, won the Western Conference with St. Louis City, won the Supporter Shield last year. Philadelphia Union comes out and drops an absolute egg in the first 3 games. San Jose win it by a score of 1-0, and Philadelphia are 0-3 to start out the season. Bradley Carnell, just a very up-and-down coach, not exactly sure what's going on over there. They're going to be taking on Club America in the CONCACAF Champions Cup this week. Meanwhile, Charlotte FC 3, Austin FC 1. Great result for Dean Smith and company. Atlanta United at home against Real Salt Lake. Talk about another club who just cannot figure it out. The kids are all right in RSL. Xavier Gozo with a phenomenal goal. People are starting to talk that he might just be getting an invite into camp in March. Meanwhile, Atlanta United are 0-3 to start out the season. At least they scored. You have that to hang on to, Five Stripe fans. Mazel tov. Speaking of not scoring, Columbus 0, Chicago 0 in the Walmart Saturday night showdown, whatever BS that they cooked up this year. No goals between Chicago and Columbus. Sporting Kansas City at home against San Diego FC, Rafa Wickett and company. This is what happens when you don't sign players during the offseason. You're going to find yourself in some difficult situations. Anders Dreyer is the real deal. If Messi didn't exist, that was my MVP last year. He gets the lone goal in the 1-0 win for Mikey Barris' side. Meanwhile, the Seattle Sounders take care of business against St. Louis City. Pause on the spiciness of the MLS Hit-It-N-Quit-It Minute a moment for the wife of Edu Leuven, who just recently passed away. She had been battling brain cancer for the past couple of years. He was by far the best player on St. Louis City in that 2023 inaugural season. Really, really, really sad stuff. Thoughts and prayers to his entire family, the entire St. Louis City organization. Just an incredibly difficult battle that ended this week. So much love to Edu Leuven, much love to St. Louis City, who fall to the Seattle Sounders by a score of 1-0. All right, let's head over to Music City, where Nashville take care of Minnesota by a score of 3-1. Cameron Knowles and company are in trouble. James Rodriguez does not play yet again. When are we going to see the debut of the Colombian? Did he just sign for vibes? I'm serious. He didn't sign a DP deal. Nobody really knows how much he's making because they haven't released the salaries yet. Is he a show pony? Is he a show pony? I want to know, is he actually going to play soccer for Minnesota? Doesn't matter. 3-1's the final score. BJ Callahan's side are going to the MLS Cup this year. They played some downright sexy champagne football. Mikel Arteta could take a thing or two out of his notebook. Colorado 4, LA Galaxy 1. Matt Wells and company. Hand up. Hand up. I was talking shit about them last week. They might be legit. I know that LA Galaxy isn't, but Colorado might be legit. Meanwhile, Portland, Vancouver, Cascadia Cup. I don't know what's going on in this. I don't. Portland pulling their very, very best out of the Tottenham Hotspurs playbook and are just dog shit at home. Vancouver 4, Portland 1. Vancouver, I think, have like a plus 57 goal differential on the road at Providence Park over the past 4 meetings. That's not an exaggeration. And I know you guys always tell me a zillion times not to exaggerate, but it's just the facts. It's just the facts. LAFC 1, FC Dallas 0 as the Black and Gold continue their fine start and are one of these several unbeaten teams remaining in Major League Soccer. Now, here are the 2 results that are going to blow your knickers off while you're listening to this driving to work tomorrow. Red Bulls 0 at home. Michael Bradley's baby Bulls get trounced by a championship side, and by championship, I do mean USL in CF Montreal. Prince Owusu and Wiki Carmona, formerly of the Red Bulls, get on the score sheet, and Montreal win a game and score 3 goals on the road. What on earth happened? Just one of those MLS results that doesn't really make much sense. Now let's head over to the West End of Cincinnati, where we've got another one of those. But I'll tell you what, there's some questions we need to start to ask of Pat Noonan and FC Cincinnati. Was Kevin Denke worth $16.5 million? Was he worth $500,000? I don't know, because he didn't have a touch inside the penalty area. Toronto win it by a score of 1-0, their first ever goal at TQL Stadium. Daniel Shallowy with the lone goal. Nick Hagelin caught napping on the backside. Tell you what, I went to that game by myself. I watched it with a couple of beers and a bag of peanuts, happy as a clam. Happy as a clam. That's going to do it for MLS Week 3.
Be happier. Could not have been happier. Well done. Well done. The MLS Hit-It-N-Quit-It Spicy Minute. And with, I was going to include a shout out to Edward Leuven and St. Louis in the GOAWs section. I'm glad you did it there. Obviously, terrible situation. Hoping, wishing for the best. All right. Champions League will round out this Round the World segment. We are down to the round of 16 home and homes, where we have some interesting matchups. We have some shite matchups, at least one involving Tottenham. So let's go to you, Mikey, first. Give me. So we have Galatasaray, Liverpool, Newcastle, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Tottenham, Atalanta, Bayern, Leverkusen, Arsenal, PSG, Chelsea, Bodo Glimt versus Sporting Lisbon, and Real Madrid, Manchester City. So those are the 8 matchups. Which matchup are you most and least interested in?
I find them all quite interesting. I think I'll start with least interesting to me is Atalanta Bayern. I think Bayern should steamroll, and I don't think that Atalanta, that being said, they could beat them at home, but I think that going to the Allianz is going to be a huge problem for them in a week's time. There's 2. I might save the PSG Chelsea rematch for one of you guys to go over, because I do think the Luis Enrique element to that is extremely enticing. That's going to be a battle, and I think neither one of them like each other. I'm going to go a little bit different. I think this Newcastle-Barcelona tie will tell us a lot about the Premier League. I really think that if you look at how the Champions League played out this season, with all the Premier League teams having immense success and making it through with relative ease, Newcastle have been one of the better ones, I think, in midweek games and in Champions League games. I think Anthony Gordon is probably top of the table in the Champions League in terms of scoring. I know that the trip to Karabag helped. But if they can somehow get through this Barcelona tie, I think we could start to have very uncomfortable conversations about the level of play in leagues outside of the Premier League in Europe. And I think it could set us up for a really weird discourse about what the entire Champions League slate is going to look like going forward in terms of spend and money share. And I do think Newcastle can beat Barcelona. I think they could beat them handily tomorrow and make that return leg and a remontada opportunity, which Barcelona we know love. The Spurs Madrid one, I think a little bit less of, because I do think that Atletico are coming into this saying we're underdogs and trying to make the right narrative. Nobody expects Newcastle to beat Barcelona. I truthfully believe that. And I think if they do, we could have some really uncomfortable conversations. So I will have my eye on that squarely tomorrow.
Okay, that's a fair shout. I was very interested in the Newcastle-Barcelona game, kind of for the reasons you said, but also Barcelona's defense. Like, if they're going to be the poster child for the European, like, continental clubs, I don't know if that's the one you want to hang your hat on at the moment. But good shouts. Tyler, which ones are you most and least interested in?
Interested in Arsenal and Leverkusen. Just conspiracy theory to allow Arsenal to cakewalk their way through every single competition that they're in. Arsene Wenger is one of the top positions at FIFA right now, and we're just going to ignore the fact that Arsenal not only get an easy draw in the Champions League, but just got Southampton in the FA Cup. We're just going to ignore that. I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, sounds good. No, on a more serious note, obviously PSG, Chelsea, Real Madrid, City, whatever. I want desperately Atalanta to put up a fight against Bayern. The last remaining hope for Italian football in this competition. It ain't gonna happen, but I just would love for like Atalanta to maybe win the leg or give Bayern a little bit of trouble heading back to the Allianz. So I don't know, but no, I think Bodo Glimt will be a lot of fun to watch at home in this type of setting against Sporting, and then hopefully they'll advance to the next round where they'll eventually lose 2-1 on aggregate to Arsenal. But yeah, all of them are interesting with the exception of Leverkusen and Arsenal.
Okay, I'm on board with you there. I had Leverkusen Arsenal circled as well as kind of the least interesting, and that's also because it's going to be the least entertaining. Shout out Arsenal. Yeah, Atletico Madrid, Tottenham. There's a lot of talk of like, should we be resting our first choice side and saving them for domestic games, which I know there's an argument to be made for that. I don't think you can do that. I don't think we play that many games. I think we got to go for it in all competitions at this point. And I do think just in a one-off game away from home, I think that Tottenham Atletico game sets up perhaps to be a game that we could be competitive in. Maybe. We'll see. All right. Let's put a bow on this episode with stoppage time, where we start where we always start with Ivan Toney's best bets and the overtrain. Last week we went 3-2. We ended up in the green, so no big qualms there. Obviously, we'd rather go 5-0. But I think this was the fourth or fifth week in a row that we've been, sort of trending upwards and winning more than we're losing, digging ourselves out of the hole. As Eric, shout out to our Discord resident expert and keeping us on our toes with our bets and how they're going. So 4 or 5 weeks in a row. This week, we got another overtrain 5-a-side. This is Wednesday through Sunday. I would typically say these are all going over 2.5 unless otherwise stated, but I'll just let the cat out of the bag right now. I'm getting a little aggressive. Maybe getting a little out ahead of my skis. We'll see, but I'm getting a little aggressive. These games are all going over 3.5 this week. So we're going to start with Wednesday. That's right, Mikey. We're going for it. Wednesday, we are going to the Champions League. PSG hosting Chelsea. I think that game has goals in it. Thursday, we're going to the Conference League. Celje hosting AEK Athens. Friday, we're going to the Saudi Pro League. El Qadsiya hosting El Ali. Saturday, we're going to the Chinese Super League, which is back in action, one of my favorite leagues for obvious reasons. They score a shit ton of goals. Zhejiang Professional is hosting Shanghai Shenhua. That was perfect pronunciation, by the way. And Sunday, none other than Liverpool hosting Tottenham. Not excited about it, but at least I'll get rich on it. So there we go. 5-a-side, overtrain. Let's go get rich. Mikey, what do you got best bet-wise?
I really, really like Ryan Gravenberch shot on target in Istanbul this week. New contract. He had 3 attempts with 1 on frame against Wolves. I think they dominate play, and I think they beat them pretty hard. And I do think he's going to play 90. So I like Gravenberch. He's plus 230, or else I wouldn't love the number. Plus 230. And the other one I like is Anthony Gordon, 2 shots on target at home to Barcelona is plus 185. I think he gets that in the first half. 3 is plus 700. I'll probably sprinkle that too. So not putting them together. I'm taking Gravenberch solo. I'm taking Gordon 2 and 3. 1 unit on both Gordon and Gravenberch, half unit on the 3. 4.
There we go. Tyler, what do you got?
Since I've been married for about all of 4 months now, I'm really just starting to like become a little bit, I've got responsibilities now and the whole thing. I'm becoming a little bit wiser in my parlays. Got two overs. That's what we're rolling with. All right.
Ooh, that's good.
I'm hopping on the backseat of the overtrain. Over 3.5 in Newcastle, Barcelona. Over 3.5 Real Madrid, Manchester City. It's a cool 4-14. That's it.
Chill. Casual.
Yeah, have we not talked about Real Man City is usually the most fun Champions League fixture of the year. So
yes, you're right. Just in a general sense, I didn't think the games they played, especially the second one, I was kind of disappointed by it because they've already played twice this season. So I feel like that takes a little bit of the pageantry, a little bit of the excitement away from it. Also, that second game was What's that?
How have they played twice this season?
'Cause they-
over the summer.
Oh, they played once. Sorry, I don't know why I said twice. Right? They only played once. Of course, they only played once.
They can't have played twice.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Different group stage setup now. But yeah, they played earlier. I was really excited for that game, and I was I felt let down by sort of how it went. So I don't know if that's sort of coloring my thoughts on this. I thought about making that my overtrain game, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it, especially first leg. I never trust those first legs. But yes, Real Madrid, Man City, anytime they play, it's worth pointing out. So I'm glad you did. All right, GOAWs. Who's ready? Looks like Mike.
I am.
Attaboy.
I'm a fan of local, family-owned businesses. And what I think the United States is doing with introducing an extra commercial slot during the World Cup is going to really help those small businesses across America. I love this. I think this is an incredible idea to promote mom and pop shops across the country. I'm sure that's how they're going to use the slots. I think finding a way as Americans to work commercial breaks into a sport that I think we can all agree has been lacking them is a good way to promote business in this country. And I commend us for being able to do so.
Everything that just came out of your mouth right there was complete horseshit. Why are you even giving them ammunition to say this is America that's doing this? We have nothing to do with this. This is FIFA that is doing this. And yet America, the United States of America, is getting shit on by all these, Twitter fucking geniuses. Because it's us, we're the ones that came up with the player intros,
yes,
and we're the ones.
I'm sure Infantino and Trump have no relationship.
They have a great relationship, but that has nothing to do with it. They're not the ones. Infantino probably has something to do with the commercial thing. So what you're getting at here, though, is FIFA agreed to a full-on commercial break during the water breaks for the World Cup, which
end of the first quarter.
We knew this
shit was coming. We knew this shit was coming when they did it in the Club World Cup, and they're sort of instituting it, mandating it. We knew this was happening. And yet, it's one of those things. It's like not the first time, not the second time, not even the 15th time. It's like FIFA does these things, and you're just like, I hate everything about this, but there's nothing you can do. And it's just like, okay, fucking fine.
I mean, listen.
Qatar World Cup, yeah, sure. Saudi Arabia, fucking 8 years later, absolutely. That's great.
You have the option to show a commercial. You don't have to. You have the option.
Oh, okay, right. Thank you.
I think it's important. It's important that if somebody's listening with a media outlet of sorts, just know that Sam's Army, Sam, endorsed this.
Not Mikey Fowler. He's putting words into Sam's mouth.
Sam think this is a great idea.
Don't clip that. Whoever's clipping this, do not clip that, producer. Oh God, you caught me. You got first.
I don't know who this GO is going to, whether it's MLS or whether it's their two former players, but they ain't messing around when it comes to gambling. Life bans from the league for Yayaboa, who you remember scored the opening goal of the 2023 MLS Cup, as well as Derek Jones, formerly of Charlotte FC, as well as the Columbus Crew. So, with that in mind, one specific incident that they're honing in on is that they found direct links to Derek Jones getting a yellow card and him betting on it in 2024, along with Yayaboa. And I'll just also say that MLS got into bed with Polymarket like in the offseason. Let's just crack the whip at the sports gambling while we're also at the same time trying to profit from it.
Yep. It's obviously they're not alone in that. It goes for every sports league in the world. And the players are not innocent in this, but man, this is sad. It's just
these two
sad.
aren't.
They're not innocent, clearly.
Those two aren't.
Lifetime ban. Oh, it stinks. Yeah.
They've arrived as a league. If this is a thing, congratulations to the MLS.
Yeah, we're big time now. We were talking about this in the Discord. Like, you would know this, Mikey. Do they not offer individual to get cards bets in the U.S.? Is that
they
not
do
a
in
thing?
some states, in some places, and everywhere offshore?
Okay, because I've never seen it, so I just haven't been in the right state.
Yeah, it's for people who don't use real stuff.
Okay, they just get rid of that fucking bet. There's no need for it, and obviously
Keep it and tell me. Keep it and bring me in.
loop me in. Just sad though. Good shouts though. So I got all sorts of honorable mentions. We're keeping this podcast extra short this week, so Tyler can't get too mad at me. But I got some honorable mentions. One Iranian women's team who are being completely vilified and getting death threats because of, I guess, they didn't sing the national anthem at some youth tournament in Australia. Mikey had no idea where I was going with this. So they didn't sing the national anthem, and now they were basically the Iranian, national media vilified them. So now they're basically stuck in like political limbo of whether they can even go home. So that's just a terrible situation. Shout out to the Prusen Munster fans, two of them, who jumped out of the stands after a controversial penalty decision and ran over to the VAR machine and literally pulled the plug and stole it. They took the plug. So the ref, when he went over to look at the VAR, there was nothing to see. He just couldn't see it. So obviously, they found a workaround. They had the little nerd in the back office just, tell him in his headpiece, yes, it was a penalty, give it to him. But still, from a metaphorical sort of, perspective, it was a big win for the anti-VAR people around the world. So shout out to them, and shout out Kidding Like Jason in the Discord who pointed that out. Also, last honorable mention, Cruzeiro and Atletico Mineiro combined for 23 red cards because of a brawl that broke out during injury time, instigated as always by that rat bastard goalkeeper who decided to stick his knee into somebody's back, although he ended up getting quite he didn't come out of it unscathed. In fact, nobody seemingly did. There were some legitimate punches and kicks and Hadoukens, and that was a real brawl. They throw the word brawl around pretty liberally when it comes to soccer. That, boys and girls, that was a brawl. So shout out to Cruzeiro and Atletico Mineiro. And also, while I'm on the subject of on-field violence, that Rangers fan who just almost decapitated the Celtic fan with a running jump kick. That was quite a move. Although I will say that game, it feels like Scottish soccer is so back right now. That game, the hatred is back. The fact it's a 3-team race. Like I'm invested in the Scottish Premier League this season. So shout out to them for that. My actual GOA though, belatedly at long last, going to the Foxborough Local Select Board. So this is like a group of part-time officials who have, they got jobs. I think one guy's a chiropractor. I don't know what else the other people do, but they have the final say on approval of games being played at Foxborough Stadium. So they basically have FIFA of all organizations by the short and curlies right now, which you don't hear a lot. And so FIFA, it sounds like what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of nickel and dime this Foxborough town, whatever city. There's it's a small city. It's 18,000 people. And FIFA is basically saying, we're going to have you guys deal with like the security costs and all the, sort of these little costs that add up to millions and millions of dollars over the course of a World Cup. I think it's $7.8 million. And the Foxborough Local Select Board is like, nah, we're not paying for that. You guys pay for it up front or give us some sort of, confirmation that you will be paying, and then we'll sign off on this. Until then, we're not going to sign off on these games being played at Foxborough. So this includes not only, group stage, but they have 2 knockout games, a round of 16 and I think a quarterfinal. And this local select board of, like a hairdresser and a chiropractor and, your barber or dentist or whatever, like they're saying, no, you guys are not going to be playing these FIFA games unless you actually pay up. And I love that. It's like I always assume this is the case, but FIFA, the IOC, these big organizations, they come in with all these big, plans and promises and budgetary sort of, slide decks about how much money every little town and every little business is going to make. And you always hear about like, yeah, I'm not so sure that's actually true. And I've never been sure that that's true, but I love that this little town is being like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Pay your money, and then you can have your little soccer games. Now, I don't actually subscribe to it being a little soccer game, but I do like the local select board standing up for the little guys. So shout out to them. Hopefully they get their money. All right, boys. Tyler, Mikey, you guys are the best. Shout out Tommy, who we actually did not mention the USL players sort of standing up to the league and their protest. Every team in the league in the USL Championship this past weekend just stood there silently without doing anything for the first minute of their game to raise awareness for the CBA negotiations that are going on right now. Shout out to them. Obviously, we as always we stand with the players.
Do something, Obama.
Hope they get what they want and what they need, which is fair working conditions and healthcare and all that stuff. So shout out to USLC players and
Tommy leading the charge as the oldest USL player to ever play is actually commendable.
Your stats are bonkers. I don't even know what are you. He's not even that old, is he? He's 20.
No.
You're ridiculous. Yes, but shout out to the players. That's all we got, though. Shout out to Mitch. He'll be back, even though he's unemployed. I don't know what he's doing. Can be anything better than this, but we'll be back next week. Bigger, better, maybe faster, stronger. See you guys then. I missed your reference here.